Roll for random encounter.
Welcome back to the Random Encounter Show. I'm your host, DeathStalker V. Over the last couple of weeks, we've been getting a few things in for the show. Today, we're going to look at some of the things that WebSphere, the company that bought out Flying Buffalo Incorporated, they went through the old stock when they purchased the company and they found some amazing finds. Some of those finds they've put up on their YouTube. You know, some one-of-a-kind items and different things. But there was a lot of things that they've recently added to their web store, or their website, flyingbuffalo.com. And they're things that I've been trying to get for years. You know, now, just to rewind a little bit in history, I hadn't had any dealings with Flying Buffalo prior to 2015 or maybe 16. Probably one of their most famous products was Tunnels and Trolls, and that was the product that got me interested in their company. And I had no idea about this amazing history, you know, that Flying Buffalo had and that Tunnels and Trolls had had. So, you know, I happenstance to come upon Tunnels and Trolls Deluxe Edition as it was being announced for released. And Tunnels and Trolls was something that I had heard about in the past, digging through gaming magazines and gaming books and things. I've seen scant mentions here and there of Tunnels and Trolls, but I had never seen it in the wild, not here in the rural southeast. I think it was probably bigger out in the west coast maybe, or at least in Arizona and different places where Flying Buffalo was established and was ran, and the conventions of that, you know, area. From what I can tell, the Phoenix gaming scene is amazing. But yeah, I just never ran into Tunnels and Trolls. Didn't know what it was about. Didn't even, I mean, it was just, like I said, it was just scant here and there, maybe just little tiny reviews or mentions or maybe a little ad here or there. But like I said, I think it was 2015. You know, I was looking for a fresh role-playing game. And I didn't want anything based on, you know, D&D or D20 or anything. I got so tired of that D20 and Open Games license stuff after 3rd edition and then 4th edition, you know, that I was looking for just a different approach. I wanted fantasy, but just a different approach. And in that search, Tunnels and Trolls, the Deluxe Edition, had went to Kickstarter and was released. Okay? As soon as I missed the Kickstarter, of course. You know, I just don't do Kickstarter. It's just a thing I have, and I've never regretted not doing Kickstarter. You know, I might regret it shortly after the Kickstarter's ended, man. Like, maybe I missed out. But somehow, some way, the things of these Kickstarters always end up coming my way. But I got in contact with Flying Buffalo at the time, Rick Loomis, who was the original owner of Flying Buffalo, and I ordered the Deluxe Tunnels and Trolls rulebook, and the thing that really got my attention was all the solo modules that Tunnels and Trolls had, you know, throughout the years. I don't even know the official number. I would guess over 100, you know, and they were the first to do it, you know, with their style of solo adventure modules, where it was sort of read the paragraph, if you do this, go to this paragraph, choose your own adventure is what we call it. But they are the ones who set that standard. You know, they would release Buffalo Castle, and then later on we would get popular series like Fighting Fantasy from Steve Jackson and Ian, I can't remember his name. I don't know why. Livingstone. Ian Livingstone. And that's you know, those were a big part of my childhood. And there was other gaming series like Lone Wolf and Fabled Lands and whatnot. So I've always liked those adventures, and Tunnels and Trolls offers a ton. But unlike fighting fantasy and fabled lands and stuff, Tunnels and Trolls was a full role-playing game system in on itself. So it wasn't just limited to those type of adventures. Those were things you could play with your role-playing game rule set. So yeah, I jumped on board. I ordered this book right here and some of the deluxe modules and things from Rick Loomis, and I got my stuff in, and I quickly became addicted to trying to get all the material for the deluxe set and older stuff for Tunnels and Trolls as well, because it's all compatible with each other. And we're not going to do a review on Tunnels and Trolls here. If you guys would like to see that, I would really like to do an in-depth dive into Deluxe Tunnels and Trolls and just Tunnels and Trolls in general. And maybe play some of the solo modules with you here or whatever. That's for the future. Let me know in the comments, you know, if Deluxe Tunnels and Trolls, the full DeathStalker V dive, would be interesting to you. An in-depth look and review. Sort of like we did for the Harvesters, but we're going to try not to have the interrupting music. Sorry guys, sorry, you know. But yeah, I got the standard book and different things, and I began collecting all kind of stuff for Flying Buffalo. We're not going to go through that collection. If you guys want to see that, let me know. I have a ton of Flying Buffalo stuff. But back to the main point of this video was that this Web Sphere company that bought it, they dug through their stock and they found several things that the owners, the current manager of Flying Buffalo, who was Steve Crompton. Rick Loomis passed away in 2017, I believe. Let me look here. There's a memory. 2019, my bad. And Steve Crompton became the manager of Flying Buffalo, acting manager. And then it was sold in 2021. But you know, Steve pretty much had his hands full taking over Flying Buffalo. You could tell that. And, you know, what he found and what he put out, always an amazing experience. And you guys know Steve. He's been on the show enough. But, yeah, they dug through the stock and they found some things that I had been looking for a long time. Kickstarter materials, older books, and different things. And it's because they have a large company with a warehouse and stuff. They're able to actually dig through it. From what I understand from Steve, talking to him back before he came on the show, was a lot of this stuff was just in huge boxes and pallets. So it was like, yeah, Steve, you think you got one of these or one of those? It was like asking for a needle in a haystack, basically. But without further ado, WebSphere put up the stuff they found in their stock, and I grabbed the what I found of them that I didn't have, and I was just blown away by some of the stuff that they actually found. And Steve was too. I talked to Steve and I told him some of the things I had found. He's like, holy moly, I didn't even know any of those still existed. So, yeah, a few rare items, you know, but yeah, let's dig in. The first thing up, a bunch of stuff in this box, but the first thing up I found was a trilogy of novels by Michael Stackpole. I believe most of you will know who Michael Stackpole is, but he was associated through the 80s with Flying Buffalo Incorporated. You know, he wrote Mercenary Spies and Private Eyes, which borrowed a lot of the Tunnels and Trolls concepts and rules, but put them in a contemporary setting. You know, with you could play anything with it from, you know, James Bond type adventures to Call of Cthulhu type adventures, even sci-fi and stuff. We'll definitely dig into that system as well. But this is the Dark Conspiracy trilogy that Michael Stackpole wrote. Gathering Evil, Evil Ascending, and Evil Triumph. And on the back here, there's a nice little card from Flying Buffalo. It says, you know, basically Michael Stackpole is the award-winning game designer who is best known for his novels set in BattleTech universe and his New York Times best-selling Star Wars X-Wing series. Fans of those books will find in the Fiddleback trilogy Stackpole's signature fast-paced style and page-turning delivery, making these books a must. Available from Flying Buffalo Incorporated. So, you know, no telling how long these set in here, and they're classified as science fiction horror. You know, I'm not familiar with the Dark Conspiracy game from Games Design Workshop. You know, but from the cover, it looks like almost it has a style as a Shadowrun or something, but not Shadowrun. A horror sci-fi. I'm in. You know, a mixture of H.P. Lovecraft and Phil Dick. I'm in. I'm in. What more do I need to say? And hey, you know something? Michael Stackpole, he subscribed to this channel. There's not a lot of YouTube channels that can claim that. So if you're watching this, Mike, I can't wait to dig into this trilogy. I've read some of your works over the years. All of them have been fantastic. And if you ever want to come on the show, you know, bless us with your presence, you're more than welcome. Maybe I'm reaching for the stars there. I don't know. But, yeah, happy to get that. Never had seen these before. Didn't even know that Flying Buffalo and Games Design Workshop had even worked on something in a collaborative manner. So, hey, that was an exciting find. I love to read. As we dig in here, some of my favorite books, if you've been watching at any time, especially with Steve, and Steve worked on these books, of course, they were the Grim Tooth Trap books. Now, I have the original Grim Tooth Trap book, and I have Steve sent over a package to the show with Trapsylvania and some original Trap Tooth art and different things. So yeah, I just love Grim Tooth. And in this, we got pretty much most of the books. I think one is missing now. But we got Grim Tooth Traps 2, you know, more traps, just like the first book, just more. We got Traps 4, even more traps and crazy stuff. We got Traps 8, even more crazy traps. I mean, and guys, these Grim Tooth Trap books, they're awesome because they have these blueprints, you know, or diagrams of these traps in the descriptions. Even if you don't use them for your role-playing game, they are a great read. They're hilarious. You know, you'll be laughing just reading this. And there's nothing better that if you GM or game master a group, especially of older players or, you know, players who enjoy older games who might know a little bit about these books, bring one of these in and set it on the table when you set up your screen and stuff. That'll make them nervous. Next up is Traps Bazaar. This one's pretty cool. It's 101 items that are just horrible items. 101 items of misfortune. So it's like a store that Grimtooth the Troll owns, and he sells practical jokes and just horribly trapped items, all kind of crazy stuff. You mean? And then we got a Grimtooth's Dungeon of Doom. So this is actually a location adventure module. It's a dungeon that Grimtooth himself has created to run adventurers through. I can't wait to really dig into this. Oh my goodness, I bet it is hilarious. Trapsylvania is hilarious. I enjoyed reading that our campaign setting. You know, Steve did it for Dungeon Crawl Classics, but I really just enjoyed reading it. It was a hoot. So I imagine this one's going to be good too, and it's compiled and edited by Bear Peters, who's done some fantastic game modules and stuff for Tunnels and Trolls. So yeah, I can't wait. Next up here, we got some that I found very good resources for solo play, and a game master will find them as very good resources as well. And they are the city books. Now I have several of the city books, but I was able to find 3 that I didn't own that they listed up on their website. We have Sideshow. You know, this is the exotic quarters of a city or something. And you dig in, and it's full of NPCs, their personalities, quests, stories, items, locations. You know, it's great because you can just drop this stuff straight into any role-playing game. It's part of the Catalyst series. You know, that series that was made for, this stuff is for any role-playing game. We have Deadly Nightshade, which is 18 nightside businesses and cultural establishments with more than 60 fully developed NPC personalities with scenario suggestions. So this is going to be I'm guessing things like thieves guilds and underworld businesses and different things like that. So yeah, some of my favorite role-playing game material, because I'm a big fan of low fantasy. Then we got City Book 1. Butcher, Baker, Candlestick Maker. You know, so this is going to be places, you know, there's a smithy and a stable, a temple, an armory. These are businesses and personal services and things that you can throw right into your game. You know, also we had Deborah Kerr on the show. You know, she worked on the city books as well. You know, so we've had a lot of Flying Buffalo, Ken St. Andre and all that. Hopefully we can get more, because they just made some fantastic resources and game materials. Another thing I picked up in the same series was maps, places of legend. Now this contains places like Atlantis, the Bermuda Triangle, Camelot, Captain Nemo's Nautilus, King Solomon's Mines, Lemuria, Mount Olympus, Oz, the North Pole, Valhalla, 13th floor, etc. These are all locations you can use in role-playing games, and I thought this would fit Mercenary Spies and Private Eyes most especially. Especially if you did like a sort of a time travel or dimensional portals or something in your game. But yeah, this screams use for Mercenary Spies and Private Eyes, a game that Michael Stackpole himself wrote. Next up, we get to some of the more rare things here. Now, I said I have this book. I did manage, when they did a Kickstarter of this book, they released a sort of a Deluxe Tunnels and Trolls Deluxe Edition. And that included a wooden box, and it included, you know, pencils and a dice bag and dice and all kind of stuff. And I was able to get my hands on all of that. The, you know, signed copies of the GM screen, etc. I was able to get all that, but I was always missing something, because that deluxe set did not come with this standard book. It came with this. And I'm going to take the bubble wrap off of it real quick for you. I should have done that before. Where's Lucky when I need him? Lucky! He's over there. He's asleep. It's late at night. That's okay. What we have here is the Deluxe Tunnels and Trolls Leather Slipcase Edition. Still in shrink. And this this edition will have, you know, all of the signatures of Liz Danforth, Ken St. Andre, Steve Crompton, everybody that worked on this project. Their signatures are inside on a special card made just for this slipcase cover edition of Deluxe Tunnels and Trolls. Now me, I already have this standard player readers edition. I'm going to leave this in the shrink wrap. You know, I've never been a big collector of role-playing game materials and stuff, but there's just something about the Flying Buffalo stuff that makes you want to go out and find this. I don't know why. But this was part of the Kickstarter, and this was the one piece that I figured I would never find. You know, there were, of course, a lot of resellers on eBay trying to send this thing off for $600, $500, and that's just too much for me. I'm not a collector at those prices. And there was one other item that we were missing from that Deluxe Tunnels and Trolls, and that was this, that I also found, well, they found in the stock and put on the website, but it is the Tunnels and Trolls Game Master Notebook and Screen. Now this is a 3-ring binder. It's very nice quality 3-ring binder. Inside, of course, is our GM screen. Now I already have one of these signed and stuff, so maybe this will become my use for, you know, on the table play. Beautiful screen though, by the way. You know, look at that artwork. I don't know if we can get it where there's not a glare on it somewhere. You know, all your relevant information for Tunnels and Trolls right inside. So lovely screen. laminated, pretty thick stock, so a great screen. And this actually works as a screen too. You got your 3-ring binder inside, but as you can see, this actually folds halfway. I've never seen a 3-ring binder like this. It actually folds like that, so you could use it for your DM screen. I think that's just awesome. But these things I will probably just put away because I've had, you know, this is, what is it, a 7-year hunt for this stuff, and it finally showed up. Now, one last thing else I want to show you that we picked up there was this. This was one of the last Kickstarters for Tunnels and Trolls that they had done. And this is the Elven Lords Deluxe Color 100 edition. There's only 100 of these books. And let's see. When it came out, I bought the standard, you know, this is how most of the solos comes, you know, standard softback book. And on the inside, there's always some great art, and there's your paragraphs and things. But, you know, as you can see, it's black and white art. You know, Michael Stackpole, again, you know, he wrote this adventure along with, the art was done by Liz Danforth. Just a beautiful, beautiful book, you know. Liz has done probably the most beautiful role-playing game book covers I have ever seen. You know, Elven Lords is just outstanding. Deluxe Tunnels and Trolls is one of my favorites of all time. It just screams adventure to me. You know, it screams everything that I enjoy about role-playing games. And on the back, of course, you've got the famous wizard. But yeah, one heck of an adventure. Good thick adventure. But with this leather copy, you know, it's full color Liz Danforth artwork. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's killer. Oh, it's killer. So, yeah, this was something I definitely did not expect them to find in the warehouse. I'm not even sure how they found it. You know, you know, I guess on Kickstarter, there wasn't, they did 100 of these, and so I'm guessing there was maybe 3 or 4 copies of this because maybe they didn't reach the full 100 in sales. I don't know. I have no clue. But what a special thing, you know. All this stuff is just fantastic to me. And the fact that Flying Buffalo is still flying but in somebody else's hands, this stuff can never be remade. Of course, they can reprint it, but it'll never be from the original company in Phoenix there. And I hope they do reprint, and I hope that they do make new material. And I really hope they involve the people who made Tunnels and Trolls so great in the future of Tunnels and Trolls. But who knows? You know, that's one thing. And I've invited them onto the show as well, the Web Sphere people that have taken over Tunnels and Trolls and stuff. We would love to hear. You know, I'm sure. Put it in the comment, guys. You would love to hear maybe what the future is or what the thoughts of the future are for Tunnels and Trolls, the role-playing game. Anyways, it's been real busy here, so I haven't had a chance to come on as often as I wanted. I am painting miniatures. Right now I'm trying to finish up a large order for Ral Partha Legacy. They're still around. I've got them in there. I finished one set of them, 12 miniatures. I got 12 more. I got the bases curing for them. And I'm about to go back in and start to clean those up a little more and start gluing weaponry in so I can paint those. But it's been pretty busy around here. Guys, like I said, thank you all for sticking with me. I know we're not super professional yet, but we're getting there. We're getting there. And everybody that's been with me so far, it's been amazing. I can't wait to see what the years hold. Anyways, I'm DeathStalker V, and this has been the Random Encounter Show.
Hey, this is DeathStalker V. If you like the Random Encounter Show, make sure you're subscribed to our channel so that you'll be the first to know when we upload a new episode. Want to support the show? Head over to Questing Table Studio on Facebook. Let us help you bring your table to life with miniature painting services and terrain.